morally. I'm a pragmatist. I mean, why do we have morals? Because we're social beings, and that works. We don't have morals because God told us. We have morals because if we're moral and we live in a community this way, we're all going to be happier. So, as I say, I'm a pragmatist on this.
So, could we say, Professor Ruse, could we say that I mean, this is similar to a question I asked you when you were live with Dembski. Could we say that if somebody believed in God and they weren't there to, stop Darwinism being taught in schools, but they just said, look, as a design heuristic, I want to look at top-down design, and I want to see how far it goes. What are the implications for junk DNA or something else? Is that an interesting research program that should be promoted, even if the underlying belief is disagreed upon?
Yes, I think so. I mean, one of the things you mentioned, God, I think often the people who want to use the organic metaphor today don't, as it were, deal with the issue of God. I mean, the point is the design metaphor or the organic metaphor was certainly formulated by both Plato and Aristotle in terms of a God. I mean, for Plato, it was very much like the Christian God, whereas for Aristotle, it's much more of a force or some sort of being. But of course, Aquinas picks this up. So, in other words, what I'm saying is traditionally, the organic metaphor is one which requires some kind of God, however that's formulated, behind it. And I often think that today you find people like Thomas Nagel who want to say, yes, I'm in for the organic metaphor, but no, I don't believe there's a God. And often I want to say, hang on a minute, you can't, as we say, you can't run with the hare and hunt with the hounds. Either you're going to be the hare or you're going to be the hounds, but you can't. You've got to make a decision. You can't be both. So, as I say, I'm not saying it can't be done, but I think often the organicist people don't take seriously the challenge of the organic model and the idea that it incorporates this inherent design. Because as soon as you start to talk about design, you start to talk about designers. And that's the thing. Whereas if you believe in the machine model, it doesn't mean to say you can't be a Christian or Muslim or something like that.
Yeah.
Because there obviously have been many, very sincere believers who are also very good scientists.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to deny that. On the other hand, if you don't believe in God, or if you're an agnostic like I am, then taking the machine metaphor, I don't think causes those tensions.
Yeah.
Because basically hold on, I've just lost you. Basically what you're saying, there we are. Basically what you're saying is the machine metaphor, that's the way it works. And I'm not denying there could be, but I see no reason to believe in it. I don't believe in it. And I don't think my science forces me to believe in it. Whereas I think if you take an organicist position, then I'm not saying you can't be a non-believer, but I think you need to face up to the challenge. And I often think that they don't. If you look at Thomas Nagel's book on this, he says, I don't think Darwin evolution works or anything like that, but I don't believe in God. I want to say, okay, what's the next chapter? You can't just leave it like that. I want to know how it is that you can talk about, as it were, the organic metaphor with a sort of design-like effects without actually believing in a God. I mean, at least at some level. I mean, obviously you could at some level say, well, it's not, I don't believe in a God, in a bedsheet, an old man with a beard sitting up in the clouds. My idea of God is much more some sort of force or something like that. I suppose you could do that, but I think you've got to start spelling it out a little bit to make the whole thing comprehensible.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense what you're saying.